Hello and welcome to another episode of The Basics of Trading with Prateek and me. Let's begin this episode with a quick recap of what we learned so far. We learned the process of opening a trading and a demat account, how to trade with a quantitative edge, and how to build a trading system. Did you know that there is a psychology involved when it comes to practicing technical analysis? And we actually can anticipate emotions like fear and greed. And this is only possible once we understand the psychology behind candlestick charts and patterns. And that's what we're going to learn today. Today's episode is going to be packed with knowledge that I think you're going to be carrying for the rest of your life. We're going to learn how to read candlestick charts, patterns, line charts, what is a hammer, what is engulfing, all of this and more on today's episode. But before we start, you know the rules. Just hit that like button. We've gone through so much effort to make this course. And leave a comment saying, Tanmay, you are the candle to the darkness in my life. Whenever you comment, it tells the algorithm to push the video out to more people. So you'd be really helping out the channel. On that note, enjoy the episode. All right, I'm really excited for today's class.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to learn technical analysis, right?
Yeah, like I was first like, let's make a trading system, let's make a system. And then you said, no, you need to learn technical analysis to make a trading system. So come on, teach me how to do technical analysis.
Okay, so like we know, technical analysis is study of price movement.
Correct.
Right? And we are understanding like Bhed Chal, herd mentality is reflected, demand and supply is reflected in price.
Correct.
All right? And we have to learn to analyze that.
Correct.
So there are a few things you should know about price action. The first is that history tends to repeat itself.
Correct.
Okay, so let me give an analogy. Suppose let's look at a cycle. So every winter, you know that you can buy air conditioners at a lower price because who uses air conditioners in December?
Correct. Unless you're in Bombay, but sure.
Sure. And then you can sell it in the summer because the demand is higher.
Correct.
Right? And this is a thing that will happen every year. It's cyclic in nature.
Correct.
And human behavior will not change. People won't say, okay, let me buy cheap ACs in December and January when it's cold. It's just not going to happen, right? People will be like, "Arey, garmi lag rahi hai, AC chahiye." Right? This behavior will happen every single year. People can probably save that, but they won't. A trader will probably do that.
Got it. Makes sense.
Right? So history tends to repeat itself. Basically, even as herds, right? Greed, fear, these things tend to repeat themselves in price action.
The same thing causes fear. The same thing causes greed.
Correct.
No matter what price, no matter what time frame you are in.
That's the first thing. So history repeats itself.
Got it.
The second thing is that there are three kinds of trends. Okay? So fear and greed manifests itself over a long term in three trends. So I have this
Bull, bear, horse.
correct. Horse to nahi hai. So pretty nice glow table here. I'm gonna draw shit on it.
Excited. Let's do it.
So it's very obvious, right? If there are three kinds of trends, what trend is this?
This is an upward trend.
Correct. An uptrend.
Uptrend.
Right? Let's look at something else. So what do you think this is?
This is a plateau.
A sideways.
A sideways.
Totally right. It's just nomenclature, but yeah, totally right. So
Got it.
plateau or sideways. And then I'll just do the opposite of where we started. We have this. This is
sadness in a graph. This is the downtrend.
This is the downtrend. So now, these are the three kind of trends. Let's just break this down a little bit. Okay. When you're looking at an uptrend, so I'll draw an up arrow over here. What you're looking for is every time it dips, that dip is higher.
It's the high low.
Yeah, it's a higher low.
Low.
Yeah, that's right. Or a
Like for
higher
example, this low
okay.
is higher than this low.
Right, Tanmay.
And this low is higher than this low.
It's genius, right?
I am a genius.
It's a high five. Very nice.
There you go.
Super. Okay. So you're looking at higher lows. Every time, so if someone says, is the market up or down? You'll say, okay, let me check higher low bana tha ki nahi. And all that's obvious, right? But let's just define it because eventually we'll quantify all of this.
Got it.
It's important to quantify. Higher low jab ban raha hai, that's basically an uptrend. What do you think, forget the sideways, what do you think we look at on a downward trend?
What do you think we look at on a downward
So we're
trend?
looking at higher lows, higher swing lows in an uptrend. What we look for,
Lower highs.
dude, that's amazing, man. Okay,
Oh,
that's totally
really?
right. So that's your first high.
Yeah, I'm not amazed. You're just asking very stupid questions. to me. That's it. I'm not that smart.
I'm trying to teach well. Okay. Where's the next high?
The next high is here and here. These are the higher. These are the lower highs.
That's right. That's perfect, right? And over here, there's confusion. High, okay. Three trend, uptrend.
Sideways and downtrend.
Yep, simple.
Got it.
Okay, so we have this chart here. It is Axis Bank. Now, ticker tape will basically show you a line chart. This is what a line chart is.
Got it.
Now, if you look at just this portion from here to here, what trend is this?
So this is an upward trend.
Okay, before that,
Before that, this is a sideways trend, more or less, right? Like this feels sideways. And here there's a slight downward trend beginning here.
perfect. Okay, you scared me with that marker there.
Yes.
There is no screen guard here, so
Oh, it's an iPad. Sorry.
be really careful. All right. So I have another chart over here of Axis Bank, but this is a candlestick chart.
Got
so
it.
I can see this a little more clearer. But just focus on the movement of the price, right? Now overall over here, let's divide this entire chart into two parts. This is one part here. Okay. And then there's this fall, and then there's uptrend here. What do you think is happening? Yeah, those are saath se. And we don't need to worry, don't stress on like, ye low hai ki ye low hai. I'm just marking it for you. You just have to understand what it is, right? Let's not get into the details too much. So we have a low here, 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 bunch of lows here, bunch of lows here.
Correct.
Now, do you think with the lows that are marked, are they higher lows throughout?
No, I think between 2012 and 2014, both the lows were pretty much the same.
Correct. So actually, you only have one low which is the same. The rest are all higher.
The rest
right?
are all higher.
So
Yeah.
actually, what you just did, right? You were looking way too close to the market. Me laga, "Ye ho gaya, ye ho gaya, ye ho gaya." But all you really need was like, those are
Generally,
higher.
the lows are higher.
So it's an uptrend.
Got it.
That's it, right? Now you can go into this and be like, okay, there's actually a low here, it's breaking, but let's not get into that. Basically, there's been higher lows throughout,
Correct.
and it's been an uptrend. Only here can we see, yaar, wo low toota. And things changed. But otherwise, it's been up. So this has been an uptrend.
Correct.
Okay, let's see another example. So, dude, this is Pidilite. They make glue.
Yes.
You know,
Pidilite, the logo is the two elephants.
that's right.
Yeah.
Chutki mein chupka hai.
Chutki mein chipka hai.
Very good.
Yes.
They did not pay us to say this.
No, but please do.
So over here, I'll just ask the obvious man. What trend is this?
It's an upward trend.
Super. I think we're done here, right?
Yeah, I'm done. Thank you for tuning in. See you next episode.
Maja aaya na? Okay. Let's see opposite. Let's see a downtrend. So Punjab National Bank is a downtrend. There you go. Okay. Let me
Yes.
zoom in a little bit. Okay. So we'll see the last half starting 2017 onwards. What trend is this?
This is a downtrend.
And can you help me understand this, right? We said lower highs. So
Correct.
the pen, I want you to mark the lower highs over here.
Lower highs.
Yeah. Start here. That's your first. What's your next?
Got it. Lower high. I think this is the next lower high.
Okay.
Then this is the next lower high. And this is even less. Then it actually finds some.
It tries to.
It tries to, but
Then
then
go
it doesn't
down.
work out. Then this.
Yeah, just stop
Yes,
right there.
yeah.
Perfect. So yeah, so maybe some of these I'd say, okay, maybe not this one, maybe not this one. But basically you got the idea. You have one here, you have one here, one here, and it keeps going down. That's basically the definition of a downtrend.
Got
right? Lower highs. It's funny that all of these are banks.
Yeah.
No bank. Okay. Yes, bank. Same thing, Tanmay. As you can see, there was the sideways period over here.
Got it. So this is where we begin.
Okay.
This is the next one.
Cool.
This is the next one.
Yeah.
And here.
Yeah, that's beautiful, right? This is what a trend is. So we learned two things about markets. One, just using price, history repeats itself. We need to understand what repeats itself, but there's something that repeats itself because herd mentalities never change, emotions don't change. And the second thing we learned is that there are three kinds of trends. Go.
Upward trend, sideways trend, and downtrend.
Super. So Tanmay, and the third thing is that markets discount everything.
What does that mean?
So that means if there is some news or analysis that the market knows is going to happen, it will already be reflected in price.
Got it.
Why is that, right? Because there's such geniuses, smart people sitting down, reading news, understanding everything, listening to management calls. They'll make inferences and they'll say, "Acha, ye hone wala in 3 months and 6 months," which the retail investor cannot know, right? They won't
Correct.
spend so much time. And basis of that, they'll make their decisions. So if there's an analysis, जो 6 महीने बाद होगा company को, and retailers don't know, but a group of big investors know, and let's say they sell. That means
That's
the
a
price.
signal for people to be like, "Hey, कुछ तो होने वाला है यहाँ."
Like news is really old. एक बार news आ गया, right? It's probably
Correct.
already been there for a while.
Correct.
Right? So if you're following the news, you're already really late. An example, Reliance का बीच में, they announced, and no one knew this obviously. They said, Reliance said that we will become debt free.
Reliance says
Reliance Industries.
the conglomerate is now net debt free.
They had lots of debt, lakhs of crores. Debt matlab loans, right? And as soon as this was announced, the market was like, "Oh damn, that's amazing!" And the market gapped up. That's Reliance gapped up. Positive news था, अच्छा था. But now the market knew कि अच्छा ये होने वाला. Analysts started following it. अच्छा ठीक है, होने वाला, deal होने वाला, deal होने वाला. And then much later, during the course, you remember, right? Facebook
Correct.
invested, Google invested, and it's like, dude, 1.9 lakh crore invest हो गया. That's a lot of money, right? उनका फिर AGM हुआ. एनुअल जनरल मीटिंग में मुकेश भाई ने बोला कि वी रेज सो मच मनी एंड वी आर डेट फ्री और वी गोना बी डेट फ्री एंड वी पार्टनर्ड विद गूगल एंड फेसबुक एंड वी वेरी प्राउड ऑफ दिस नाउ द आम जनता विल से ये तो बहुत अच्छा है, दे विल प्रोबब्ली बाय रिलायंस ऑन दैट न्यूज़, बट दैट्स व्हेन रिलायंस फेल.
Oh, how come?
Because that news is already priced in. When news is out, most of the times, the market already knew what's happening. So now, would you sit down and pour through all the financials, Tanmay, and try to predict कि अच्छा ये होने वाला है, or just look at demand and supply of price, right? So traders say that price is king. जो भी सच है, वो price में ही दिखेगा. Because if when someone buys, you can see demand. When someone sells, you can see the market falling. So just follow price, no?
Correct.
Simple.
Correct.
So market discounts everything. Price is king. Bad news हुआ, market ऊपर चला गया. Maybe there's something else to it. Just follow the price. Don't follow the news.
Got it. Don't follow the news, follow the price.
Yeah.
Ah, that sounds good.
So Tanmay, this means how is more important than why. अभी क्या होता है? Market ऊपर चला गया, कोई stock ऊपर चला, लोग कहता है अरे ये ऊपर क्यों गया? For a technical analyst, for a trader, it's actually the wrong question.
क्या फर्क पड़ता है क्यों ऊपर गया? ऊपर जा रहा है ना?
ऊपर जा रहा है ना, आप react करो price को ना. There may be smart boys behind it. There may be some information that you've overlooked. You just react to the price, right? The price will show it way first. So even before a crash, right? The price is falling way before a crash, and we'll see this.
And you'll see it in the trends.
You see it in the trends, right? So, for example, like 2008 में क्या हुआ था? People think market जा रहा है, la la la. It did not happen like this. What actually happened was markets are going up, downtrend started, and then I can't draw here, but a huge fall then ensued. So, like for traders, they were short probably if they were trend traders. They were trading on the downside, or they exited all of their long-term holdings a long time back.
So I think for a trader, like seeing just this much part of the chart is enough indication ki bhai look, there was this high and then there was a lower high.
Yeah.
This just means that either it's going to go sideways next or it's going to fall further. Either way, a lower high is bad news.
Correct. More likely to fall than to go up. At this point, what I know is कि downtrend है. Right? And at least it's not the time to buy. That's it. Correct? So you don't need to predict prices anymore. You can just follow price. Technical analysis is the study of price and its patterns. It analyzes the past and it doesn't predict the future. So, Tanmay, we want to analyze charts. So, we need to analyze how we can actually plot charts, which is prices, right?
Okay.
And there are different ways to do that.
Okay.
Okay. So let's see different types of charts.
Okay.
So I'll do here. The first kind of a chart is the line chart.
So let me guess. A line chart will have a line on it.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right?
Totally. But how is that line formed, Tandan? Cool. So, now let's suppose you have to record the temperature of Mumbai every single day. Say at 6 p.m. You'll get one temperature.
got it. ये बचपन में स्कूल में हमने ग्राफ पे ये किया था.
बिल्कुल. एक data point एक दिन का. And then you plot that. You have time like this, T-I-M-E. And then you have a value. In this case, it's temperature. Let me change this to prices because we're talking about stocks. Now, this dot over here is the closing price
Of the stock exchange.
of the stock exchange. Now, as we know, the stock exchange opens in the morning.
At 9 a.m.
That's right.
Ungodly hour.
9:15 though.
9:15.
That's right. And it closes at
3 p.m.
3:30.
3:30.
You're off by like 15 minutes for sure.
yeah.
So 3:30, जो last traded price था उस दिन का, that's the closing price of the day.
Got it.
Basically, the last trade where a buyer and seller agreed to exchange something on that stock, exchange a share on that stock, and you have that. You have the closing prices, and you just draw a line through it.
Got it.
That's a line chart.
Got it.
Now, what's missing over here? You tell me. What's missing over here? The price data only uses the close price of the day.
Correct. Whatever happened during the day, that volatility is not represented here.
Correct. We only have the closing prices.
Correct.
Or we have the C, the close price.
Close price.
What's missing is the open of the day. So let's say the market may be opened here.
Here. Correct.
All right. So let me write that. O for open. Then you may have a high of the day. So let's say maybe the high was maybe here. Okay. All right. OH, that's the high. And then you have the low of the day. Maybe the low was here. You have the low. This is popularly called the OHLC, the open, high, low, close. This gives you all the data for that day.
Got it.
Now, how does this actually look, right? How do you represent this in a chart? Is a candlestick. That's how you do this.
Got it.
Okay? It's a visual way of showing all this information and you can see years of it very easily. तो बहुत simple है. ये close था ना? I'll just turn this into a bar and this a high. This is now a candlestick.
Got it. So, close or open price becomes the chunky candle part.
Correct.
And these two are these wick-like things are the lows and the highs of the day.
Simple.
Got it.
I'll also color this green. Okay, perfect.
Green is if it went up that day.
Perfect.
Correct.
Okay, so if the open was here and the close was here, the market went up.
Correct.
तो green है, and this is the low and this is the high.
Got it.
अब इसका opposite भी हो सकता है. You have this, right? And maybe during the day, I'll just remove this close. Confusion हो जाएगा. I'll put a red inside it. This basically meant.
मतलब ये open यहाँ हुआ,
हाँ, correct.
close यहाँ हुआ.
That's it.
Got it.
So it's red. And that's your low, that's your high. So that's a candlestick, right?
Understood.
It shows market ऊपर था कि नीचे था. So now.
Amazing. Like it makes so much more sense when you look at a chart now. Interesting.
Look at this, right? I'll just color this so it makes sense. Market went up, then this happened, then this happened. Now you don't need to look at anything, right? You just know that the market went up and then ये बड़ा सा fall आ गया.
कुछ बवाल हो गया इस दिन भाई.
कुछ तो गड़बड़ हुआ. And there's so much information, right? ये कितना एक महीने का information होगा आपको एक glance में दिख जाता है यार ऐसा हुआ. Right? You can also see the size of the candles. You can see high low कितना हुआ. इसमें for example बहुत ज़्यादा selling हुआ, low ही नहीं गया. Lowest point पे ही close हुआ, कुछ weak ही नहीं for example.
High.
हाँ सही, हाँ correct.
Yeah.
हाँ तो you changed what I said. But what do you think this means actually?
This means that Tanmay needs to learn more.
Okay, we'll just leave it at that. So this is how we plot candlestick charts.
Got it. Understood. Well, what you asked me what this means, right?
Okay,
This means that on this day,
okay,
there was a downward trend
All right.
in this period, and it went really low, like the lowest it's possibly ever gone,
Yeah.
potentially.
Yeah, you're right.
And right there, consumers, right there, investors start realizing, okay, maybe it shouldn't be this low. So then it found some support here, and then it started climbing up again, and it ended up in this range at the closing time.
Yeah.
Got it.
Ladies and gentlemen, CNBC analyst Tanmay Bhatt in the house.
The name is Rakesh Jhunjhunwala.
So what you just did was you analyzed कि price towards the end people pushed it up. This is what psychology is behind these patterns. Okay, so you can actually analyze a few candlestick patterns and try to understand what's happening on the market. Okay, so let's continue that. I'm going to remove this. Now, in our example, market बहुत ज़्यादा गिर गया, and you said थोड़ा push हुआ अगले दिन. Let's imagine. So now let's say the market opened exactly the same place, closed. So it opened there, closed there. So it's a red candle. Okay, it closed slightly lower. Slightly lower is the clue here. But during the day, the low was really low.
Wow.
Okay. Now this is interesting. Just explain to me इसका open or close count.
First of all, this is a very weird candle.
Yeah. Okay.
It's an upside down candle.
Okay.
Right? This candle has no positive wick to it. Okay, so what happened? The market opened here, right?
Yeah.
At this price, and it closed lower. So your close is here. It opened here.
Perfect.
And at some point after it opened, people lost their mind. Investors just started selling. It reached here. Here is where there was some support for it, where investors went like, it's very underpriced right now. We should probably buy it. And they pulled it all the way back until the closing price, which is here.
Interesting.
Yes.
Now, in this, do you see that there's more demand or there's more supply?
It's clear that there's more demand, right? Like after it fell to this price, suddenly demand increased for it.
Yeah. Like I love this pattern, this candlestick pattern. It's called the hammer. Because it looks like a hammer.
Yeah, it looks like a hammer, and and calling it bad candle would be weird.
So the interesting about a hammer is prices were pushed down because there was excess supply. It pushed prices down, and then at some point there was no supply left. All the guys who were scared, fear, those guys are spooked and they're out. There are no more shares to sell. Now the smarter guys come in and say, hey, this has gone really low because you guys were scared.
Got it.
And they start buying in. Or they overpowered the sellers so much that the demand pushed it all the way back up. So we know over here, now what news will say, market falls another 0.5%.
Yeah. But what it doesn't say is that it actually fell 5%, and then people realize it doesn't deserve to fall this
Yes.
much. Let's pull it back. So a hammer is an indication of demand being generated.
Correct.
Again. So usually a hammer is a sign that it actually might pick up tomorrow onwards. All of a sudden there's demand.
Yeah, of course, there's no guarantee.
There's no guarantee.
But what we know is that there was demand here.
Got it. It feels like this is like a mass exercise in trying to figure out the ideal price for a stock. And everyone is giving their opinion by putting their money
where their mouth
is, literally.
Correct.
Got it.
And you can analyze this entire game happening on a worldwide scale just using price.
Yeah. It's like people are communicating without communicating with each other. Right?
It's great, right?
It's insane.
It's like this mathematical language that's happening.
Yeah.
And no one knows who's who.
Yeah.
The interesting thing is, another point here is, let's suppose this is a really large stock, right? So one thing, any analysis you do has to happen on, say, top 50 companies in the country, right? Because for any pattern to make sense, you want big money behind that pattern, right? You don't want a small unknown stock with 1 crore worth where someone can just put like 1 lakh rupees and change the prices.
Correct.
You don't want illiquid stocks, right? So you choose the top 50 stocks ideally to do any analysis you want to. Now, this turnover on a single day, like say on Nifty, could be thousands of crores.
Of course. Yeah.
Right? Which means if there's demand of thousands of crores, it's most likely not a bunch of retailers deciding that. You don't need inside information
to know that
big guys are buying.
There's institutional money coming in.
Correct. That's interesting, right? Okay, so let's see some examples, some real life examples.
All right.
Okay, Reliance का एक और example है, and this is a weekly chart. So एक bar over here is a week. By the way, weekly chart में what will be the open and what will be the close on a weekly time frame chart?
What will be the open and the close meaning?
हाँ, so the open, I'll give you a clue. The open will be Monday का first trade.
Correct.
It's a weekly chart.
Yeah.
तो close क्या होगा इसका?
Friday 3:30 p.m.
Correct. And the high will be the high of
of the week.
and the low of the
Week.
Perfect. So you're going higher in time frame. When a pattern emerges in like a higher time frame, they're probably like a lot of money behind that. So it's more reliable.
Got it.
Okay. तो ये weekly chart है Reliance का.
Weekly candlesticks है.
Weekly candlesticks है.
Got it.
So now over here market sort of sideways जा रहा है, but let's just focus on the right side, okay? Market gira, और gira, many red bars, and this happened. What is that? The last bar over there. 1 minute. Okay, go ahead and draw.
This looks like a hammer. Indication of a hammer usually is the hammer stick, right?
Yes.
It's long and it's very dominant. It's a very dominant stick.
Yeah.
So even if there's a little bit of a wick on top, it's a stick that usually is a representation that that this feels like a hammer
Absolutely.
here. I'm assuming it climbed from here.
Yeah, so we'll exit this. Yeah, go ahead.
From this point, it'll climb. Oh, it did. The next day,
It actually gapped up.
it actually gapped up. Yeah. What does gapping up mean?
So gap up means it actually opened higher than the previous day's close. तो 100 पे कल क्लोज हुआ,
हाँ.
अगले दिन 105 पे खुल गया.
ये कैसे होता है?
बिकॉज बहुत डिमांड रात को आया कि यार ये डिमांड है. तो दिस इज इंटरेस्टिंग राइट कि कुछ ओवरनाइट न्यूज था,
हाँ.
ये यहाँ पर कैसे डिमांड दिख गया.
हाँ. पर ये ओवरनाइट नहीं, ये फ्राइडे और मंडे वाला वाइब दे रहा है ना ये.
करेक्ट. सो इट्स एक्चुअली अ वीकेंड
Yeah.
न्यूज.
Yeah.
Someone knew something's gonna go down or go up actually. And so that's interesting, right? So you get that gap up.
Oh, this is a big gap up here.
Yeah, it's a
man.
huge gap up,
It's
actually.
it's like 150 points almost.
Yeah, it's huge actually. And then the market continued to go up.
Yeah.
Look at this, right? It started at 1160 and it went all the way to 1600. Yeah, that's like, is that like more than 50%?
Yeah, yeah.
So that's how powerful higher time frames and analyzing candlesticks can be.
So we've learned about the hammer stick candle.
Sure.
So like this, how many more types of candlesticks are there?
Sure. So there are many other candlesticks.
Okay.
This is a single candlestick. There's multiple candlesticks. There are indicators. There are patterns. So technical analysis is pretty vast. This is like the first step.
Got it. So if you guys want to learn more about that, there are many courses that can let you go a lot more in depth. Check out the link in the description and you can go learn it on Learn app. Awesome. So this, what we just learned, Abhi, this is understanding one candlestick.
Correct.
Right? So I'm assuming there will be patterns and that signifies something. If you look at 2-3 different candlesticks when you bunch them together,
Yeah.
those must also have some meaning, right?
Exactly, right? So अभी तक जो हम सीखे हैं, hammer is a single candlestick pattern.
Correct.
Which means you're learning a single candlestick and inferring यहाँ पे demand था कि supply. In this case, there was demand.
There was demand.
There are also multiple candlesticks where it's a combination of 1, 2, 3 candlesticks and you do the same inference. Was this demand or supply?
Supply.
Makes sense,
Understood.
right?
Understood. So can you give me some examples of what inferences can we draw from looking at multiple candlesticks?
Cool. So let's do a multiple candlestick example.
Okay.
It's called the engulfing pattern.
Okay.
Okay, so we learned about the hammer pattern.
Yes.
Single pattern tha.
Yes.
Let's see a pattern which requires more than one candlestick.
One candlestick, yeah.
Hence the multiple candlestick.
Yes.
So what I'll do is यहीं पर ही draw करता हूँ. So I'll rub this off. Okay, perfect. Now what happened over here? एक बार just explain me. The market opened and then what happened?
Market opened. Then they hit the bottom. Everybody wanted to sell. Then
Correct.
suddenly demand was created. Then it started going up again, creating the stick of the hammer.
Yeah.
And then it closed, even though it closed below what it opened at yesterday.
Right.
But it still signifies demand. So
Correct.
demand is there.
How is a different way of showing this? The same action can happen over 2 days instead of happening over 1 day. Okay? So the same thing can happen over 2 days instead of happening over 1 day. I'll draw this. Let's suppose the market, and this won't actually happen. I'm just drawing here for comparison.
Got it.
Okay?
Okay.
So let's say the market actually opens like this. We have a candle here. I won't draw the wicks, so it's a little easier. The next day the market opens here, and you get this. Okay. All right. Now let me color this to know कि ये हुआ क्या. So this is a green candle, right? And this is a red candle. Now you'll notice. Let's add some wicks, make it look more realistic. All right. Now you'll notice over here कि market गिरा, बहुत गंदा गिरा. अगले दिन market खुला,
Opened here,
and then
shot up till the highest point here and closed here.
and engulfed the previous candle.
Got
Right. So this is called the engulfing
Got it.
pattern.
Got it.
What you're looking for is that this body closes higher than the previous body. So, like, I'll draw another engulfing. This is one, right? Okay. And it could be this also, right? This is also engulfing because in this case, this is red and this is green. So the green body actually engulfed the red body. Think of it like this, na kha gaya aise, engulfed, like flames engulfed a house.
This is opening,
Yeah.
closing,
Correct.
opening, closing.
That's it. It's basically the same thing that's happening, right? Market goes down and then you get lots of demand.
Correct.
It doesn't matter what it looks like. The price action is basically the same. You know, there's something interesting about people. We think news happens first and then price. But actually, if you really look closely, like news follows price. So like, what you can do is you can find these patterns and then see the news of the day. Generally, the news will be like really bad. And then the next day, for no reason apparently, the market engulfs. And then the news will be like, "Arey, ye achhi cheez aa gayi hai."
वापस चढ़ गई यार.
Market shut because the market is looking, the long term suddenly looks good. So generally, we shouldn't worry about what the investors thinking. The investors believe that demand is needed here. That's why they're putting their money where their mouth. And this is usually a large amount of money because these are large cap stocks.
Yeah, what I love about this is it's like seeing a chart. It's actually you're seeing the broad lines of a story, right? And the news is essentially extracting meaning from that. And,
Correct.
You know, expressing it in whatever way that they want to.
Correct.
Actual कहानी यहाँ है.
हाँ.
ये अगर ये पढ़ना आता है तो आप समझ रहे हो कि क्या हो रहा है.
It's interesting, right? It is a story.
अब न्यूज़ देखना बंद करो, ये चार्ट पढ़ो. यहाँ पर असली कहानी लिखी है यहाँ पे.
Okay, before we see an example, इसका opposite भी है. ये तो bullish हो गया कि we expect the market to continue up. इसका opposite भी है, the bearish engulfing pattern. So this is bullish. Let's see a bearish. Sorry, horrible handwriting, but let's see an example. This is what it looks like. So you have a green candle. This time it's just the opposite, right? So the green candle, the market
ये
opens.
पहले दिन चढ़ा.
Why don't you explain this to me, Tanmay?
So, the previous day or week, markets opened here
Yeah.
and they closed here.
Yeah.
Right? Next day, markets opened here and then everybody sold all the way. In fact, till the bottom, and then the little demand was created and it closed here.
Yeah, and this just shows that पूरा दिन का कल जो buying था was engulfed by this day, and this is called the bearish.
तो जनता जिन्होंने इतना प्रॉफिट कमाया उन्होंने बोला बहुत हो गया अब बेचते हैं.
बिल्कुल सही. You know what's interesting is the problem with these patterns is they come up randomly. तो एक तो higher time frame करना चाहिए. ये daily hourly chart में थोड़ा it doesn't work. Weekly charts पे makes more sense. That's one thing. The second is in context of a trend this makes sense. तो अपना अगर uptrend चल रहा है and ये आ गया तो it's very powerful. हमारा डाउन ट्रेंड चल रहा है जैसे
ये आ गया
तो इट्स वेरी पावरफुल. हाँ, तो लाइक डोंट डू द ऑपोजिट कि अच्छा मार्केट ऊपर जा रहा है एंड देन यू लुकिंग एट दिस, इट वोंट वर्क.
तो जब जनता ट्रेड करती है तब वो ऑफन गट के हिसाब से ट्रेड करती है, राइट? बट व्हेन यू कंबाइंस रीडिंग ट्रेंड्स with the candlesticks, you get more of an idea of where you think it might go. तो for example, अगर upward trend चल रहा है और उसके बाद एक bearish engulfing pattern दिखता है, right? If this is red, then it's likely यहाँ से वो sideway trend होगा. और अगर downward trend जा रहा है और वहाँ पे you see a bullish engulfing pattern, it means that from this point it might go sideways or start an uptrend, right? So these give you, engulfing patterns give you a sign of where the price movement might go.
Correct.
From this point.
Correct. Makes sense. You're analyzing the demand and supply right now. So you're not really analyzing the past, right? It's something that's happening at the moment and you're analyzing the now. You're in the flow, like they say, and you're reacting to price.
तो जनता जब ऐसे ट्रेडिंग व्यू खोल के वो लोग देख रहे होते हैं कि
हाँ.
प्राइस में क्या हो रहा है, सी वी कैन सी एन एनगल्फिंग पैटर्न हियर, फिर वो एक लाइन ड्रॉ करते हैं, देखो ये अपवर्ड ट्रेंड चल रहा है, पर यहाँ पे अगर आप ये दो कैंडलस्टिक देखो तो ये हो रहा है. दिस इज ऑल देयर लिटरली रीडिंग द डेटा दैट
Correct.
learning about, right?
Correct. And remember, the context here is we're learning the tools just so we'll make a system in the future.
Got it.
So you're not analyzing randomly, but at least now you know what is happening on the chart.
तो जब सिस्टम बनता है तब how do you connect that to a bearish and a bullish engulfing?
Yeah, so good question. You can be like, okay, जब uptrend है, every time there is a bullish engulfing, I will buy. This can be your theory.
Got it.
Right? And then you backtest it and it probably won't work. And then you repeat. I mean, you'll have to test it, right?
प्रतीक is like, ये करोगे ना इससे बहुत पैसे बच सकते हैं, पर बैकटेस्ट करोगे तो शायद नहीं बनेगा.
But we'll explain more.
We'll get to it.
तो तन्मय एग्जांपल देखते हैं, ये बहुत ड्राइंग हो गया.
Okay.
Real stocks, real data.
Yeah.
Let's see if this worked. Okay, so let's see this example. This is Reliance. अब Reliance का डेली चार्ट है. You can see market थोड़ा नीचे sort of गया, then it rallied. ये अपना फर्स्ट कैंडल है राइट में.
हाँ दिख गया ना मेरे को, बुलिश एनगल्फिंग दिख गया ना मुझे.
नहीं, ये रहा.
कहाँ?
ये रहा bearish engulfing.
ये bearish engulfing
हाँ.
है. ये यहाँ पे bearish engulfing है. ओ, पर यहाँ पे हाँ ये engulfing.
You're actually right. That's a bullish engulfing right there also. Yeah, totally right actually.
Like यहाँ ये एक bullish engulfing दिख रहा है.
Absolutely.
Looks like it. And then this
It
is a bearish.
Yeah, absolutely. And if we remove this, we see what happened next, and just look at that. Right? So in this case, it worked really clearly because the rally was cancelled out with a lot of selling. Again, the market will be like, the news will be like, oh, Reliance ne itna upar gaya, thoda sa niche gir gaya, but people don't realize it is so much of selling pressure, and that just continued. So that's interesting. Now, actually, since we're here, one question, Tanmay. ये जो है, is this an engulfing? This red bar and a green bar. What do you think?
So let's look at it, right? So opening price was here, then it went down all the way here. अगले दिन जब market खुला, gap up हो गया.
Correct.
And then it came here. So it's not an engulfing. Like,
Correct.
It's not an engulfing. Like it didn't rise dramatically higher than the opening price on the previous day or week.
Yeah. What you want is, like over here, the opening and closing completely engulfed the previous day's body. Here it's like almost same.
Correct.
So if you're doubting it, yaar, I'm not sure, it's probably not it. It should be damn obvious. Ki haan, ye to hai hai. Yeah. So now, what information would you believe? Would you believe fundamental analysis that happened 3 months ago, unless you're really smart to say, yaar, mujhe lagta hai na 6 saal mein ye hoga. Right? Or would you say, okay, the news is decoding an event for me? Or would you say, okay, price is giving me demand and supply on a worldwide scale here. So that's why we say the only source of truth is probably price. Let's say you're a long-term investor in ITC and you want to hold this for 10 years. But on a monthly chart, you notice that, there is like the swing lows have broken, the trend is downtrend.
Correct.
At that point, you can temporarily exit
and buy the dip when it goes back down.
Either double down on it later because you're a fundamental investor.
Correct.
Because you know कि अभी supply तो आएगा, but
Correct.
long term में ठीक है, supply आएगा 6 महीने, it'll fall. You can double down or you can exit and then re-enter at a lower price. So you can make these small tweaks. Even if you're a fundamental investor, even they would make tweaks based on demand and supply. And there's nothing wrong in that, right?
Fundamental investor चार्ट देख के अपनी लॉन्ग टर्म प्रॉफिट मेकिंग को बेटर कर सकता है, राइट?
Correct.
And people show data also, right? Like if you got in on all the days that the market dipped, in the long term you can make almost 200%, 300% more
Correct.
returns.
Correct.
और वो compounding का भी तो उसके ऊपर effect आता है.
Absolutely.
If you keep buying the dip over a long term, it's like you've got the best price of this stock by constantly reinvesting and deploying your money at the right time.
Yeah, I think the smart thing is, right, that you're not on the technical analysis camp or the fundamental. You learn both and you use both to your advantage. आपको पैसा कमाना है ना?
Correct.
Do both.
Correct.
Right? So learn that, learn this, bring them together. I think it was Bruce Lee, right, who said that I want to learn how to defend myself. So I'll create my own Jeet Kune Do by bringing all the martial arts artist styles together, and I'll be like water, etc. So why do you want to be like, nahi, मैं सिर्फ technical में believe करता हूँ. Just do both.
It's like a mixture of patience and greed. Like they keep
Balance.
intermingling. कि नहीं ये भी करते पर अभी थोड़ा पैसा भी तो बन सकता है कर लेते हैं. Yeah, so that's it. It's interesting you just said this क्योंकि मेरे साथ ये actually हुआ, right? Like इस 2020 में जब pandemic हुआ and the market crashed.
Yeah.
So if you see the markets, they were going like this, like this, like this. Then
Correct.
all of a sudden there was a big crash.
हाँ.
And ये point पे मैंने बोला कि भाई मैं और पैसा नहीं डाल रहा हूँ क्योंकि मुझे बहुत डर लग रहा है क्योंकि आजू बाजू कोई कंपनी चल नहीं रही थी, you know, लॉकडाउन चल रहा था. I was like, none of these companies are going to make money in the foreseeable short-term future.
Yeah.
Why would I put money into the market right now when I know that these companies aren't doing well?
And the news was horrible.
And the news was horrible,
Yeah.
right? But what I didn't know at that time was to read candlesticks. I was to read charts because if I read them, I would just start seeing engulfing pattern at some point here, and I would start seeing that the markets are going to rally, and then they came right back up all the way until we are here now.
Yeah.
तो मैंने यहाँ पे re-enter किया दोबारा.
Right.
I missed this whole time where I was too scared. But if I had known how to read the chart, I would know कि भाई यहाँ पे पैसा डालना चाहिए. There's just a long bullish run that's going to happen.
I mean, I think at this point you would have also seen कि यार ये ना, like the trends part that we talked about, कि यार ये lower highs, higher lows बन रहा है.
Higher lows बन रहे हैं.
And it seems like there is demand.
Correct.
And you would have just entered
A little earlier.
I
I would have entered earlier and I would have bought more here. I would have bought more here.
Correct.
You know, I would have deployed my money accordingly. I have बहुत लाखों का नुकसान.
But again, what you just said, we can actually turn into an investing system.
Correct.
Again, I'll go back to that, right?
Correct.
And the reason why you have a system, right? You have a checklist that you follow because there's so much of distraction, right? The news will say it's bad. Your friends will say sahi nahi hai. Like you got to stop listening to that and just be like, okay, I'll follow the data.
A system feels like the benefits of long-term investor thinking meeting the greed of a trader. Like having a system insulates you from the risk of being, just a discretionary trader.
Yeah.
And gives you the mentality of a, long-term investor type.
Correct. So वो discipline भी आ जाता है.
Got it. Understood. अब मुझे समझ में आ रहा है.
Tanmay, quiz time.
All right.
Feeling confident?
I'm feeling good. If I get all of them right,
Yes.
if I do well,
Yes.
तो मेरे को LearnUp के सारे paid courses free में मिलेंगे.
Okay, done. अभी तक नहीं मिले. Did we check? So explain to me technical analysis क्या है ताकि जनता को दिमाग में बैठ जाए कि technical analysis होता क्या है.
Technical analysis is the reading of price movement through the use of candlesticks and understanding patterns and trends and patterns and trends
To gauge demand and supply.
To gauge demand and supply.
That's it.
Correct.
Perfect. Okay. Another thing is we started with a line chart, then we moved to a candlestick chart.
Correct.
So why is a candlestick chart better?
A candlestick chart tells you exactly how much demand and supply there was on that day or that week and how much and how the demand and supply change. A line chart only tells you what the price was at the closing of the day, whereas a candlestick chart tells you how much it moved even during that day or week.
Perfect. Excellent. Okay, this one you like. Candlestick patterns एक बार recap करते हैं. Hammer को just explain hammer क्या है and then we'll go to the next pattern.
So a hammer stick usually represents an increase in the demand of that price. So hammer अगर आप देखो तो opening so let's take this for example, right? Like it opened at this price and it closed at this price. And then the lowest of that day, it went really, really low, which forms the hammer stick. And then all of a sudden, demand surges up and it closes much, much higher than the lowest point. So it looks like a hammer. It usually shows that demand went really low and then it surged after that.
And you see this in context of what kind of trend normally?
A bearish trend, right?
Correct.
During a bearish trend, जब नीचे जा रहा होता है, एकदम ही नीचे जाके फिर suddenly demand बढ़ जाती है, तो hammer stick pattern.
And does it work all the time?
It doesn't work all the time.
Cool. Excellent.
Got it.
Give me a summary of the next engulfing pattern, bullish wala.
Bullish engulfing pattern is जब एक दिन या एक हफ्ते में the stock moved, the price of the stock moved lower, but then the next day or week the stock moved higher enough that it engulfed the previous day's lows as
The
well.
previous day's body.
The previous day's body.
Correct. Some people also say पूरा candle engulf होना चाहिए, but those are details we can talk about later. Basically, it encapsulates the entire previous day's
Body. Got
Perfect.
it. Got it.
I think that's done. That sounds good.
Done?
Yeah.
Cool. Where's my free course? Where is it? All right. Cool. Awesome. मैं भी हर्षद मेहता.
नहीं वो स्कैम है वो नहीं एनालिसिस करना है यार.
So this was great, right? Because now I can look at a chart और मैं समझ सकता हूँ कि चार्ट पे क्या हो रहा है,
Yep.
right? But what will be even amazing is if चार्ट को देख के मैं समझ तो गया पर मैं predict भी कर सकता हूँ कि ये कहाँ जाएगा, इसके बाद क्या होगा, you know,
Okay.
if I can be more accurate with my predictions. So I want to start learning that. Like how can I do that?
Okay, so that's interesting, right? So what we did was we zoomed in and we looked at one candle, two candle.
Correct.
Maybe we can zoom out a little bit and be like
Generally क्या हो रहा है?
So we saw supply and demand on a candle level.
Correct.
Let's do supply and demand
हाँ.
on a market level. We'll just zoom out a little bit.
Cool.
And we'll see कि multiple candles, multiple months के ऊपर can we see supply कहाँ आ सकता है,
हाँ.
demand कहाँ आ सकता है.
Correct.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah, that'll be good. Let's do that.
Let's do.
Yeah.
All right, that's it for this episode. Make sure you check out Learn app where you can take more courses on the basics of trading, technical analysis strategies, all the way to building your own trading system. Check out Learn app using the link in the description and get 2 months extra access absolutely free. And while you trade, you will need to analyze your stock fundamentals and their history in depth. You can do that thanks to Ticker Tape. And before you begin trading, one must have a Demat account. So open your own Demat account with the link in the pinned comments.
See you in the next episode.
Oh, next one. Just click on the next one.
Agla.
Coming up next.
The first player, the trader, who wanted to buy would be like, dude, दो बार ये opportunity आया and I couldn't buy. So far we looked at single candlesticks.
Yes.
Let's now zoom out and look a bunch of candlesticks. बहुत लंबा time frame है ये. That's why I say zoom out for support and resistance. People start buying and what happens?
Goes up again.
Prices go up. Now this area is generally referred to as support. Right? This area. So a support is drawn on 2 points. Okay? So you have नीचे गिरा, second point से bounced हुआ. Once you have those 2 points, then you can draw your support.
Got it. Awesome.
So that's good actually. That's nice, right? This looks good on camera, I'm sure. It's only us geeks finding this beautiful.
I mean, a little bit. That's true.
है ना? बहुत ज़्यादा सुंदर लग रहा है.
Okay, let's not get
अच्छा, okay.
Sir, you are Picasso of National Stock Exchange.
Thanks, man.
Episode 3, Scene 3.
And
Action!
अरे मैं तेरे को बैर में बुल ढूंढ के दूंगा.
We need a secret joke here.
ये एपिसोड के बाद जाके आईटीसी का स्टॉक बढ़ा के आते हैं.
Confident? Feel.
हाँ.
We're ready.